Welcome again to the second session of making an online market store. In the previous session, I demonstrated how to set up the Flask application and how to install various dependencies and packages, and we are going to continue from where we left last time. So we begin by activating our virtual environment. We begin by activating our virtual environment by doing, our virtual environment is called OnlineM. So we'll write online and create activate. Then the next thing, I want you people to create two folders in fact. The first folder create and call it static, then the second folder call it templates. And outside those folders, you have to create two more files. One file call it app.py and one call it models.py. Once you're done with that, then you can begin. From the description, look for from the link in my description, visit the file go download that file. One file is called flask.txt and the other file is called models.txt. So from flask.txt, copy the entire file from flask.txt using the link in my description. You'll have to download that file, copy it and paste it in app.py, the contents of the entire application. This is the beginning of the setup. Then there's another file called models.txt. Just go and copy the entire file called models.txt and paste it right on the models.py. Once you are done doing that, we'll have to define a few tables that will guide us through the scope of this entire project. The first table will be called nav plus users. Let's write that class. We're going to do that very fast. Once we are done writing that file as it is in my PC, the file, let me explain how the file is. The file is a table defining where our users who will be registering will be inserted. So we have a first column, ID, username, email, phone, password, then the user type. In this online market store, the user can either be a store owner or a customer or a buyer. So we'll have, ignore the comments meanwhile. We'll have this exactly. We're going to create another table. First of all, this table is for the purpose of logging in and signing up. So let's proceed to our app.py and define our first instances. So we have already created our first root index, which will be rendering the index.html file. So we are going to create within the static, we are going to create not static, within the template, we are going to create a file called index.html file. Then we are going to create another file called login.html. Then we are going to create another file called register.html. Then I think for now, let's leave that at this. Then the next step, after creating those files, we are going to begin our HTML. Next, we are going to define the login route. The login route, we shall just copy this, paste it here. Then I change a few details. Change this to login. Here, change to login. Then let's change here to login.html. We shall repeat copying that for the register route. Then we're gonna change here to register. Then change here to register.html. Register.html. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to begin designing our front end. For this front end to be auto-completed, I recommend you to drag the HTML file outside here so that you begin designing it. It shall be very fast. The action should be a login action. That should be a post. Then we'll have our first input. The first input is a text. We're going to be short will be the name, then what else? We'll have some styling, padding of 2, text of. We're using Tailwind CSS 800. Then we'll have input. Name should be the password. Name should be the password here. We have a class. Let's give it a padding of 2. This Tailwind CSS. Then we'll have text gray 800. Same to that. So change this one to be the email. Then this, give it a class name of bg gray. Most probably let's give it a 700. Then the body can give it a class name of bg gray 800. Give it a margin, give it a padding of 5 maybe. this one can give it a margin of 4. Then maybe I think this all for designing this. Then you can give it a rounded LG. Also this a rounded LG. Now we are going to copy the tailwind CSS CDN. The tailwind CSS CDN, you can find it on the same link that I had shared. You'll have on the same link on the description. Look for a file called index.txt. Under index.txt, you have to, as I had said earlier, go look for the tailwind CSS CDN from the index.txt, the same way you download the rest, and copy the two CDNs. In line with that, also download the tailwind, the font awesome CDN, where we're gonna use it sometime. Then copy this entire code to the by hitting Control A, Control C to copy, Control A to highlight, Control C to copy. Then under register.html, just come and do Control V to paste. Then for the same register.html, you're gonna drag it outside for easy for the completion to be easy. You're going to have your input. Let's copy this. Then let's paste them here. The first will be the username. Then we'll have here, this will be confirm password. Confirm password. Then we're gonna move this one down below here. So that's how it works. We also should have this one field called telephone number or the phone. Here type should be type tel. The name should be phone. Then we should have what again? This one should be type password. Type should be password, same to confirm password. This should be type email. Username is just okay. We're going to add some field here required. So we're going to copy this and paste it here. And paste each one of this as required. Then change this one to register. Then this one should be flex, justify, center. Just to align the items at the center. And also do item center also. So let's see how our HTML page looks like. Make sure you have live server installed in your PC. If you don't have live server installed, just come here to extension pack, search for live server. Search for live server. This is live server. Install this live server in your PC, and if you have it installed, you can do right click, open with live server here. Then we want to view how our design looks like. So this is all that you are viewing. So we are going to give it this one. We are going to make sure that the width is full. No, width is full. We're going to give them a width. So this is how it looks like now. We're going to give it maybe all of this. We will give them a margin of 2, and also a margin of 2. This is okay. I think now it looks better. We're also going to define some other things. So this is how it looks like now. What we did is that we added a width of full here for each one of them, and a margin of 2 for each one of the input fields. We have added all of them width of full, and we gave them a margin of 2 each. So don't worry about that. I think this is okay. Now we're going to add one more thing. We're going to add here some buttons. Input. Type submit. Value. Give it a button. We're also going to give it a class. Text. Gray. Blue 500. We're also going to give it a padding of 2. Also give it margin of 4, margin left of 4. I think this is okay. Submitting the form. Okay. This is okay. So we're going to do padding of 4. Not text blue 500, but actually BG blue 500. BG blue 500. So the next thing we're gonna do, let's look how our browser looks like. What are we seeing from our browser? So from our browser, everything has changed. This is what we're seeing from our browser right now. So we're going to add this text. We're going to add this and this text. We just copy from that file, logging.txt, using the link in my URL. We're going to copy this right here. After you're done with it, I think now the register page is okay. Just do this. Also the login page should be okay. You can just copy everything that is in the register page, copy to the login page. Okay, yeah, do that. Then we're going to change this to login. We're going to remove everything except the password. Going to remove everything. Then I think now it's okay. It's okay. Here should be create account. Change this to be create account. This should be create account. Now we're good to go. Then there's a little error. We need to rename this to models.py, not model.py. Rename this to models.py. Models.py. Once you're done, drag in this back to the template, both the login.html and the next thing we're going back to the app.py to define the login credentials. Now let's go on. If request method is equals to a post. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. If request.method is equals to equal sign is equals to a post, we're going to say request .form.get. We're going to get the username, not the username but the email, and we're going to get the password. The password is equals to request.form.get password. Also this should be the email is equals to request.form.get. So after that login, we're going to check if we're going to define another function over here. This function will be verify login. Let's call it verify login. Define verify login. DB session. So we are going to say user info is equals to DB session dot query user dot filter by username is equal to username, password is equal to password is equal to password dot first. We want to fetch the first value. So here you just have to add the username and the password respectively. They should follow that order. Do not distort that order. Then we are going to return user info. So once we are done with that, we are going to come back to the login. We're going to check if we're going to say user info is equals to verify login. Then we are going to pass the username and the password here. After that, we're going to check if user info. This is not the username, I mean this should be the email. Sorry for that. Just change this to the email. This should be the email. Also this change this to be the email. So after that, we check if user info. We're going to return redirect login page. Else we're going to flash this message. Invalid credentials. And then this will be an error. Then we're going to return redirect back to the login page. I think we're done with the login. The login is well set. What we need to do now is we're going to define the register page. Then we'll call it a day. We're going to define first here, before we leave the login, add here, add a comma, then write method. Write method is equals to methods, not method, is equals to get. Is equals to get. Is equals to either a get or a post. So once you're done with that, copy the register route. method is equal to either get or post. Then over here we're going to check if request dot method. Just copy this. If request dot method is equal to a post, copy that. The same here. We're going to do what? If request dot method is equal to a post, we're going to say email. Copy also this. We're going to say check log indentation. We're going to say email is equal to form. Also going to say username is equal to request dot form dot get username. Also going to say confirm password is equals to request dot form dot get confirm password. Also going to say phone. Also going to say phone is equals to request dot form dot get. We're going to get the phone. Then we're going to check if password is not equals to confirm password. Then you're going to flash password mismatch. Then you're going to return direct. Register. Then after we're done with this, we are going to define another function called, we're going to insert all the users. We're going to say new user is equals to user. We're going to say username is equals to username. Password is equals to password. Confirm. Then you're going to say email is equals to email. We're going to say phone is equals to phone. We are going to say, here we'll define a function called db session. Db session is equal to session. So we are going to say db session dot add new user. We are creating a new user. Then db session dot commit db session dot close. So I think this code inserts a new user to the system. After we are done with this, we are going to return redirect. If it's successful, we're going to return redirect login, so that after the user has already finished, user can log in. We're going to flash here a success message. Successfully created an account. So this is success. So that's it for the login and the register page. We're almost done. The remaining bit is just to test our code to see if it's working. We have the username, we have the email, we have the password, we have the confirm password, we have everything. So our code should work as expected. It should be able to register a user. This should be verify login. Same to this, verify login. It should be able to create a new user. It should be able to allow the users to log in. So after the users log in, it should redirect them to not back. Edit this, it should redirect them back to the home page. It should be redirect back to the home page. I think we're done. Now let's test our code. Everything now should be working as expected. We're just going to do right click. We're going to have our terminal on, new terminal. Then make sure you're using command prompt cmd. You should be using cmd. Then do Python. Write Python over here. Okay, I've just changed a few of the things that I think they might not make the code work. Before we test the code, make sure that you have enabled the virtual environment. Make sure the virtual environment is enabled. You can do this. Just do it by running OnlineEnv scripts activate. If it's enabled, you'll see this here, this over here. Also, make sure that Python is installed and SQLAlchemy is installed. If you did not install SQLAlchemy, just do pip install SQLAlchemy. Then you check if it's installed. If it's installed, you have to view whether it's installed or not. Then the next thing I want you to check, under index.html, I want you to add a log from Flask, and also under app.py, in the app.py file, under verify login, make sure that email is equals to email, like this. Correct this if you had made this error. Make sure email is equals to email. And also one more thing, I think everything now should work as expected. We'll proceed to test our Flask app. Under register, also confirm this, that we have placeholder representing each of these names here. Each of these names here should be represented by the corresponding placeholders as this. make sure that is enabled. And also, what else? I think everything is good to go. And also make sure that you've introduced another div, so that make sure this, I failed to do this, make sure that you have this, the entire form is inside this form, plus this, and everything should be inside this other div. Make sure you added this div over here, make sure this div is there, also make sure that is there, and make sure that is there. And then the next thing we are going to do, we are going to test our Flask application from the browser. We are just going to do python app.py python. If your Python app.py tells that you did not install some dependencies, simply come here and right click here, then delete this online end, this virtual environment, recreate it, then repeat installing all the extensions. So after you're done with that, you're going to do a Python app.py, and after the python.py begins working, what we are going to do is that we are going to open just this link in your browser, open that link and navigate to this root called navigate to the root called register. Do a /register, want to register a new user. Then we're going to wait for it to load. Do a /register. Then once it loads everything, it will take some time. So this is how your register should look like. Now we are going to create an account. Let's create an account. Username, we're going to say test. We're going to give this email, phone, we're going to give that, password 1234 1234. Once the login is success, it will redirect us back to the sign-in page. Let's do that. It should redirect us back. It should redirect us to the login page. Here we can log in again. So it says account created successfully. Just from this message here, we're getting an account created successfully. That's the message. So we are going here to write our email, then the password. Invalid credentials. Okay, we're going to write our email again. Then password 1234. Then it says hello from Flask, which means our application was a success. Our application was a success. So everything has worked as expected. Now everyone, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. We have finally created our first login and sign up on day 2 of creating our online marketplace application. Just like I said, we'll be creating as many as we have a lot to create. Kindly, if you like the video, subscribe and do me that favor.